Since then, he's been squeaky clean. There was no other calls for service or anything during that time.
Chief, if it was serious enough to warrant the investigation, why wasn't there a follow-up at a point which Warner was available at his home, either a month later or a week later or some point back?
Yeah, we're still trying to find out information on that. I mean, it was just this. All this is still new. We're gathering information on that. But I know the officers went by at least for a week. There was no other calls. They had no other information. The attorney even said that he felt that he wasn't violent, and although he was capable of making a bomb, that he didn't feel that a crime was being committed or he was violent.
Did police not enter the home because of the attorney?
I'm sorry?
Did police not enter the home because of the attorney?
If we would have had probable cause to get inside the home with a search warrant, we would have. There was just.
Saying that the attorney was one of the reasons why, because the attorney did not represent him.
The attorney said that he would not allow us to go. He would not allow us to. Not allow him, let him be able to let us do that, to search the home. That was the statement. I mean, I'm still gaining information too.
So. What could you have done differently? What could you have done differently to vet this tip? Is there anything we can do in the future? Because people are scared that there's other tips out there that we're not following up on.
I believe the officers did everything they could legally. Maybe we could have followed up more. Hindsight is 20/20. But one thing that I think, what I'm sure that I'm going to do, that we don't have a officer on the Joint Terrorism Task Force, which is connected to the FBI. And so that was brought to my knowledge as well. And so we'll start that. We'll put an officer on that team to eliminate any gaps. And that's what we're going to do. We're still determining information. And so as we find out what gaps there may have been, what we could have done differently, we'll address it.
So. I'm wondering, was the mayor notified before y'all released that report, or anybody else? Like, who knew about this before it was released?
I did talk to the mayor. We had a discussion about it, that we was following up on information, that we still was gathering information even on up until this morning. And so I just relayed that as soon as we got everything that we had ready to give a statement, and really I'm just reading over some statements myself. I mean, that's how we've been diligently trying to put this together for everyone. So.
My understanding is that the officers didn't try to get a search warrant. Is that correct? Did they ask a judge for a search warrant?
The officers did not have probable cause to get a search warrant. There was a call for service on a lady who had 2 guns who needed care, and so she needed some assistance. There was nothing else there to say, okay, yeah, we can get. You have to have probable cause that a crime is being committed or about to be committed. Right then, there was nothing other than a statement from someone.
The reason I ask is there's a lot of folks in town, and I'm sure we've all been hearing from them, who feel like when they interact with the police, officers take any opportunity they have to search their car, search their person, or go get a warrant. And then in this case, they didn't ask a judge. Why didn't they at least go to a judge and say, here's what we've got, can we look in this guy's house?
But you had no more than you had no reasonable suspicion to go to a judge. They could have, but it would have been denied. Officers didn't take this lightly. They went back, they knocked on the door, they went several times, they followed up with hazardous devices team unit who deals with explosive. They went to the residence. No signs other than the RV there being closed up. They're experts. They could not smell anything related to a bomb being made. They turned it over to a specialized investigation division who followed up on it. They called the FBI. Had nothing legally. There was nothing else that could have been done for that.
Are you aware of the FBI doing anything else after that initial contact that the officers made with the department, shared this information with the FBI? Do you know if the FBI followed up? Are you aware of any of that?
I'm not aware. I'm still gathering information, and a lot of this is still forthcoming. I'm sorry?
The tip came in on Christmas. At what point did the department know Warner's name?
I believe we knew of a possible person of interest Friday. Not Friday, but Sunday. And so, but the FBI was trying to confirm DNA. And so Sunday evening, I believe that Sunday afternoon, they had a press conference at 4.
So there was no communication between law enforcement agencies about Warner's name from Friday to Sunday?
We knew a person of interest, but we didn't know that it was actual him because they were still trying to confirm.
But you knew his name at that point?
I knew his name.
And so there was no attempt to then put that name against Metro Police assets in order to figure out if he had been in the system before?
That's what our senior staff started doing. They started looking up and found there may have been a report. But this is Sunday. This is Sunday evening when they said it might have been a report. But I didn't see a report or anything until actually at Monday. I had a cabinet call with department heads, and an attorney who listens in on those calls made a note, and he makes copious notes. And in that meeting, I said there may be a report out there. Still then, I had not viewed the report. Hey, Chief, and so my statement was that it may be.
Chief,
so
now the attorney told us on News Channel 5 that he did not make a statement saying that police were not allowed to check that RV. So who should we believe? The police or the attorney?
Well, you know, I have the utmost integrity, and I have no reason to make stuff up. The officer makes copious notes as well. He has a very strong statement to say that this is what he was told. And after looking him in the eye, I feel confident that that's what he was told. So now the attorney may be saying something else, but I believe my officer in this case.
How often do you get tips that are
one last question from me. I just want to ask you, in seeing what you've kind of uncovered so far, I'm curious, do you believe that there was a lapse in judgment here?
I don't believe there was a lapse in judgment. Maybe there could have been follow-up after, but what are we following up on? You have a lady who said that this guy is capable of making bombs, that he is. The officers try. They knock on the door. They turn it over to hazardous devices who try to ascertain if a bomb has been made. They turn it over to specialized investigation who contacts the FBI. And so if officers go back to his home continually with nothing else and they knock on his door and nothing ever comes out of it, he never grants consent, or we never determine anything that gives us probable cause to get a search warrant, then the narrative is that we're harassing him. So we have to continue investigating until we have enough to get either a search warrant or his consent, and we didn't have that.
Contacted him before clearing the case?
I'm still trying to find if the case was cleared, if it was still open and was just, going to be followed up on. Sometimes you have open records that are followed up on later.
But following that investigation, they never talked to Warner again. They never talked to Warner at all.
They never made contact with him. They tried to make contact with him, but they never did. So.
Chief, did you talk to the FBI at all on why when they were notified that they didn't have any contact?
We've talked to the FBI, and they've run him in his database. But as far as I know, they're still following up. I don't know if there was any more that they had to follow. That's a question they could answer. But I don't know if they had any more they could follow up on. We had all the information that we knew. And it wasn't any more than that at the time. So.
Why would somebody say that the director of the CMI...
I'm sorry, sir.
Why does the director of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation say that he was not on anybody's radar? When he clearly was on somebody's radar. Your radar, your department, and others who you notified, including the FBI.
So I'm not sure why the director of TBI would make that statement, but what I can say is that there was a matter of record report made that a person was making bombs and he was capable of making bombs, but that's all we had right then. We had no actual knowledge that a bomb was made. We had no scent. We had officers go there that's very capable of knowledge. And to hear someone say, hey, if I would have smelled an explosive, that would have given me more to try to get a search warrant. It wasn't anything there. In fact, a part of the investigation, as they went in the house, the dogs didn't pick up scent inside the house. So we had no reason to be in the man's backyard.
So you were in the house? So you got inside?
No. This is after. So, yeah.
Chief, so Councilmember Bob Mendez is in the meeting, and he's getting a lot of attention for it. So bringing up the issue of race, saying that if this were not a white man, that more pictures of the weapons would be put out quicker. Also, that it might be called domestic terrorism.
Well, I don't want to comment on what Councilmember Mendez said, but what I can say, I have the utmost integrity, and that as soon as we found out more, we put it out there, and I'm here to make a statement and get a truthful account of what happened. For those that actually know me, whether they're in the media or friends or whoever, know that I'm my integrity. And so as soon as we found out more, we put it out there and want people to know we're going to continue following up on that. We're going to continue to follow to see if there are, any gaps, any protocol other than the Joint Terrorism Task Force, what we could do differently. But
Chief, what was your reaction, Chief, when you heard that there was a chance that police could have got this man in 2019? How did you react when that report
When I heard it was out there, it made me wonder what happened, what's in the report, what follow-up was done, what is this man capable of. From what I've heard, he wasn't violent, that maybe he had some issues or concerns or beliefs, but that he wasn't violent. And so they had nothing else further to go on. And so it just made me question what else was there, what else can we follow up on, and we're continuing to follow up.
Do we know where he got the bombing materials yet? Or?
No, I actually asked that question this morning. A lot of that's been flown off to Quantico, Virginia. They're still following up on what was used.
So. How frequently do you all get tips that are this specific?
They come in. We get tips like that all the time. We get tips that don't pan out. Don't get a lot of bomb tips like that, but you get a lot of just a wide array of different calls, and so they followed up on it. The officers didn't take it lightly. They didn't have anything else to go on, so they started knocking on doors. They started following up with other units to try to find out as much as they can. Even
did they talk to a neighbor or call any other relatives or anything?
To the best of my knowledge, they talked to neighbors and done everything that I know of. But we're still examining. I mean, what could have been done differently? What gaps do exist other than the Joint Terrorism Task Force? And so we're still looking for those answers. And hindsight's 20/20. But if we could have had more to go on, it would have been good.
Any more information about a motive at this time?
Any more what?
Any more information about a motive at this time?
About what? Motive. Don't have any. It's just all speculation. That's all under investigation as far as the FBI has been conducting this, and so they're looking at it. But no additional on a motive.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you.